All right, Tarnished, buckle up. The news cycle is moving faster than a warp speed jump, and we've got the absolute latest intel that you need to know. From universe-shaking updates to game-changing revelations, the digital world is buzzing, and if you're not plugged in, you're missing out. We're diving headfirst into the stories that are dominating headlines and shaping the future, so get ready for a high-octane download of what's happening right now. First up, we're talking about a game that's been out there for a while, but its developers are listening, and a feature that fans have been begging for might finally be on the horizon, promising to make those vast cosmic journeys a whole lot more immersive. And speaking of cosmic journeys, our next update dives even deeper into the future of that very same universe. We've got confirmation that more story is coming, but that's not all. There are whispers of major overhauls and a potential expansion that could redefine player experience. Get ready for the details on what's next for this ambitious space saga. But wait, there's more. We're digging into the nitty-gritty of how space travel in that galaxy far, far away might actually change. Forget those endless menu screens. New discoveries are hinting at a complete overhaul that could finally let you truly feel the journey between stars. This could be the upgrade we've all been waiting for. And to round it all off, we're confirming the next big chapter for this epic. A developer has spilled the beans on a second-story expansion, alongside a host of new features and updates designed to address player feedback head-on. This is the kind of news that keeps you coming back for more. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. The sky's no longer the limit. For fans of expansive space exploration, a significant shift might be on the horizon for a critically acclaimed, yet somewhat underrated RPG. After its initial launch, many players felt that the experience of traversing the vastness of space was hampered by a reliance on menus and loading screens, detracting from the immersive potential of its setting. Now, it appears the development team has been actively working to address this very criticism, with the developer's recent comments strongly suggesting a major overhaul is coming. In a video shared by Bethesda's official YouTube channel, developer Tim Lamb, who boasts 2 decades of industry experience, touched upon his work and the future of the studio's prominent science fiction title. He expressed his excitement for upcoming content, stating, "We have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features the players have been asking for, as well as a new DLC story." Crucially, he elaborated on the team's focus, revealing that part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding. This statement directly correlates with player discoveries made in the game's backend, where references to a feature called Cruise Mode were found. These unearthed code snippets suggest the ability for players to travel between planets without needing to access a menu, a significant departure from the current system. While the code also indicated some limitations, such as not being able to lift off from a planet directly into orbit or travel to other systems without loading screens, the mere existence of such a feature is a massive win for players yearning for more seamless spaceflight. The developer's subsequent patching of this discovered code further solidified its legitimacy. This potential new feature arrives at a critical juncture for the game, which has seen a year pass without major content updates and a notable absence from recent industry showcases. This drought had led to speculation that development resources might be diverted to other projects, such as the Elder Scrolls VI or the next Fallout title. The confirmation of work on gameplay improvements, even if not a full story expansion like the previously released Shattered Space, offers a much-needed reassurance to the dedicated player base that the game's universe is still being actively developed and enhanced. Studio head Todd Howard has also indicated plans for annual story expansions, suggesting a long-term commitment to the title's post-launch support. The prospect of more engaging space travel, coupled with future narrative content, signals a potentially revitalized experience for Starfield. Audience impact. Fans are buzzing with anticipation, seeing this as a direct response to long-standing community feedback and a potential game-changer for immersion. This significant development is making waves, but hold onto your helmets, because there's even more crucial news on the horizon that will shake up your gaming universe. Second story DLC incoming. following a launch that, while anticipated, didn't quite capture the widespread acclaim of its contemporaries like Baldur's Gate 3 or Tears of the Kingdom. Starfield's reception was somewhat muted. The subsequent release of its first major DLC, Shattered Space, met with mixed reviews, and a period of relative quiet from the developers led to community speculation about the game's future, especially after director Todd Howard alluded to a strategy of annual story expansions. Now, a clearer picture is emerging, with the developer's recent statement providing a roadmap that seems to align with these earlier rumors. While the exact release window for the teased second story DLC remains unconfirmed, it is still slated to arrive in 2025, continuing director Todd Howard's vision of yearly narrative additions. However, a recent video featuring Bethesda's creative producer Tim Lamb, while detailing upcoming content, did not specify precise launch dates for these enhancements. Industry whispers suggest that these new additions might even arrive earlier than expected, potentially in the early part of next year. A significant area of focus for these upcoming updates, and one that the community has vocally advocated for, is the improvement of the game's space flight mechanics. Lamb himself confirmed this, stating in the aforementioned video, "I can't go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding." He also mentioned the addition of new game systems and a few other smaller delights, which could potentially tie into the more surreal or lore-heavy aspects of the game's universe that players have come to appreciate. These impending updates are not only exciting for the current player base, but also fuel speculation about Starfield's potential expansion to new platforms, such as the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2, which have been rumored for a 2025 release. The theory is that the launch of a second major expansion could coincide with the release of a definitive edition of the game, bundling all content and optimized for these new platforms. If Bethesda simultaneously addresses player-cited shortcomings, like the current space flight system, this hypothetical multi-platform release could mirror the successful resurgence of titles like Cyberpunk 2077, aiming for a broadly positive reception. The developer's commitment to improving core gameplay elements, alongside delivering new story content, suggests a strategic effort to bolster Starfield's appeal and longevity. Audience impact. Players are hopeful that these improvements will significantly enhance the core gameplay loop and potentially pave the way for a wider audience on new consoles. It's clear that exciting developments are unfolding, but before we get too lost in the stars, another major gameplay revelation is about to blast onto the scene, and you won't want to miss it. Real-time space travel closer than ever. Nearly 2 years after its initial launch, Bethesda's ambitious space role-playing game, Starfield, is potentially on the cusp of a significant overhaul to one of its most frequently criticized aspects: space travel. While the game offers a vast universe to explore, the current system relies heavily on fast travel menus and numerous loading screens, which many players feel detracts from the sense of immersion and adventure. However, new insights gleaned from the game's code suggest that a more seamless, real-time spaceflight experience may be closer than ever. Deep dives into the game's code by dedicated community members have uncovered references to a feature tentatively named Cruise Mode. These findings indicate a potential system that would allow players to engage in interstellar travel without the constant interruption of menus. This could mean the ability to fly between celestial bodies, experiencing the journey through the void of space in real time. While reports suggest that Bethesda quickly patched out visible traces of this feature in a recent update, the studio has indirectly acknowledged the ongoing development. Bethesda's lead creative producer, Tim Lamb, stated that the team is actively focusing on space gameplay in order to make journeys more rewarding. This statement has significantly boosted player morale and reignited hopes for a more engaging and immersive spacefaring experience that many felt was missing at launch. Furthermore, the confirmation of a new story expansion currently in development adds to the anticipation, with many players speculating that the game's second anniversary on September 6th could be the stage for a major announcement regarding these much-requested features. This potential implementation of real-time space travel combined with the promise of free updates and features that players have been actively requesting, could signal a significant turning point for Starfield. It addresses a core criticism head-on, potentially revitalizing the game for both existing players and newcomers. The prospect of a more fluid and engaging journey through its expansive universe is a compelling one, especially as Bethesda continues to build upon its first new IP in over 25 years. The developer's commitment to incorporating player feedback and enhancing core gameplay mechanics is a positive sign for the game's long-term viability and player satisfaction. The community remains eagerly awaiting further official details, hopeful that these code discoveries and developer statements translate into a tangible, immersive upgrade. Audience impact. This news has generated considerable excitement, with many players expressing optimism that these changes will finally deliver the immersive spaceflight experience they envisioned. These advancements in space exploration are truly groundbreaking, but our journey through the latest news isn't over yet. Prepare for the final major update that confirms the next chapter in this epic saga. Next chapter confirmed, second story DLC and more. A significant development for Starfield players has been confirmed by a key figure within Bethesda Game Studios. Lead creative producer Tim Lamb, in a recent Bethesda Game Studios developer spotlight video, officially announced that a second story DLC expansion for Starfield is in the works. This announcement comes alongside assurances that more surprises are on the way, including new features and updates specifically designed to address player feedback and enhance the overall gameplay experience. Rumors circulating in the gaming community suggest the new DLC might be titled Starborn and could potentially launch in early 2026. Furthermore, speculation indicates that PlayStation 5 owners might have to wait a bit longer, with a possible spring 2026 release window, coinciding with other quality-of-life updates. Lamb's direct quote from the Spotlight video stated, "We have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features the players have been asking for, as well as a new DLC story." He elaborated further on the team's efforts, highlighting a specific focus on improving space gameplay. "I can't go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding." This focus on making space journeys more immersive and engaging aligns with long-standing community desires. Beyond the narrative expansion, there are also indications of new gameplay systems being introduced. One widely discussed rumor suggests the implementation of the ability to fly directly out of a planet's atmosphere, bypassing the current loading screen sequence and thereby adding a greater layer of immersion. This would be a highly welcomed change for many players who have found the current method to be immersion-breaking. Following the somewhat lukewarm reception of the previous DLC, Shattered Space, there is considerable hope that Bethesda has learned from player feedback and is poised to deliver a more compelling and involved story expansion this time around. It has also been suggested that the weaker sales performance of Shattered Space may have influenced the decision to delay the game's potential release on the PlayStation 5. If Starfield does indeed arrive on PS5 in 2026, it would mark nearly 3 years since its initial September 2023 launch. Audience impact. Players are eagerly anticipating the new content and improvements, hoping this second DLC will address the criticisms leveled against the first and enhance the overall game experience. That's all the deep dives for today, but don't go anywhere yet. We've got a lightning round recap and a full call to action coming right up. And that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw Starfield gearing up for a major space travel overhaul, confirmation of a second story DLC alongside new features, and hints at truly immersive interstellar journeys. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and let us know in the comments what you're most excited for. Plus, follow us on all our socials for even more gaming news and discussions.